Welcome to Gehenna Gaming and Darker Days Radio presents Wrath and Glory, a Let's Play video, and it's session 5 of our Dark Tides campaign. I am Chris, your regular host from Darker Days Radio and Darkhammer, and as always, I'm joined by Ian from Gehenna Gaming.
Hello.
I am joined by Crystal from Darker Days Radio. I am joined by Mike from Darker Days Radio and Darkhammer. And I'm joined by Chigg from Darker Days Radio.
Hey guys.
And replacing David, we are joined by Elaine from
Hello.
Cubicle 7. So Elaine, give us a brief introduction of your relationship with Cubicle 7 and 40K and other Warhammer stuff.
Oh gosh,
Briefly.
briefly. Okay, so I won't recount decades. Okay. Yes, I'm Elaine Lithgow. I'm a freelance tabletop RPG writer and general game designer, things like that. I wrote, I'm currently writing with Cubicle 7 on Wrath and Glory and Age of Sigmar's Soulbound. I wrote a
Yes.
bunch of stuff in the core books for both of those, and I'm continuing to work away on bits and pieces.
Awesome.
Yeah. I don't know. My history of Warhammer is long and storied, a bloodied trail through history that I will not regale you with for fear of the flashbacks.
No. But we can certainly get you on the regular podcast at some point, and we can,
That'd be cool.
we can chat about stuff in general. Right. So last session was the end of Sleepwalker, the scenario from Dark Tides, and we are now playing a different scenario, carrying on our Dark Tides campaign. And this episode is known as Graveyard Shift, which is a scenario which you can purchase from Cubicle 7 from all outlets of Cubicle 7 PDFs, and I don't know whether it's available in hard copy yet, but I think based upon what Cubicle 7 does, it might be in hard copy potentially in the future as part of a compendium of other scenarios. That seems to be what happens. So just check the regular channels for when that happens. It's quite good that we're playing Wrath and Glory today as well, because it's the Indomitus 40K 9th edition release. So if you're into your minis, you can go get that stuff as well. Right. You are all currently traveling on the rogue trader cruiser, the Absolution of Tigris, which is commanded by Severina Veronius. She is the young cousin of Lord Veronius, who rules over the entire flotilla that has made its way into the Gilead sector. So currently, all of you are on board the Absolution, unaware that you're aware that it's jumped into warp space and it's traveling over the next course of maybe about 8 hours, because it's only within the system, to the main throne world, deeper within the system of Gilead Prime. So what's everyone doing on board the ship while they're awaiting their orders? Let's pick Ian, as always. What's Weir up to?
Oh man. What is Weir up? Weir is probably... I'm fixing something on the overlay. Meditating. Flagellating, keeping to himself. Hopefully, making some improvements to his power blades.
We'll see. When you're not doing business, when you're in your chambers, which are sparsely decorated, I guess they've only got like a small altar to the Emperor, lots of candles burning, and I'm sure when you're not dressed in your rubberized, stealthy armor that you have as a Death Cult assassin, you must be just wearing like hemp, like rough cloth,
he never
flaying your own skin.
More or less, flaying his own skin, wearing rough hemp, flax, burlap style clothing, but he never takes his mask or chameleon cloak off. So if he is seen about the ship, he's still completely swathed in darkness.
Yeah, cool. And I guess you subsist on very standard basic rations. You mostly feel eating anything better than that is
It would be a disservice to the god emperor.
In fact, you mostly think it. I guess for you, it is correct that you eat corpse starch because you're becoming one with death, just as the emperor is one with death. Yeah,
precisely.
Brilliant. You're such a wonderful person. I would never want to go into your quarters.
I like to lead by these are my quarters, as you can see. I like to lead by example. I think action is more powerful than words. So.
And I guess the only thing that could be considered like decadent would be any form of how your altar takes the form of your altar. It'll be an aquila, on a table.
Yep.
Perhaps you've got. I guess the only thing you've potentially got is nice incense burning. That's mostly the most luxurious thing you have is incense.
In the mask.
Yeah.
But the mask is a tribute to God Emperor. Acceptable.
Interesting. Now, Chigg, Sister Mariana, being a member of the Adeptus Sororitas, a sister of battle, I'm sure her chambers are quite similar.
Yeah, they are rather sparse, we'll say.
Less blood splattered from self-flagellation, though.
Well, yeah, slightly. There is, of course, a shrine to the God Emperor. And Sister Mariana is a singer, so she'll have some little device that plays background accompanying music for her chorals, chants, and her songs in tribute to the Emperor.
So you've got like something like a small wind up, like you wind up and it starts just playing.
Right. Yeah, it plays background music for her to sing along with.
Yeah, excellent. That's rather quaint. And singing along as she strips down her bolt gun and cleans it and puts her bolt gun back together.
Right.
Yeah. And again, mostly not quite like weird, but again, when you're out of your power armor, it's again functional attire, but not gaudy, not over the top. Not opulent.
It's she's very, very plain in her dress. She light robes.
Right. Now, by contrast, Mike, what's Rufio's quarters like?
Well, Rufio's not in his quarters. Ever since the sleepwalker incident down at the planet of Charybdis, he's been undergoing some changes, which he hasn't really been discussing with any of the crew or any of his so-called compatriots. In fact, he's been getting very, very twitchy. He's a beast man, covered in fur, goat-like features, very brutish appearance. But now he's seems to be have great speed. So what he's doing is experimenting with that in different parts of the ship. Dashing across different giant gun emplacements that are manned by dozens of individuals, going through different cargo bays and various degrees of gravity, just to see what he's capable of in this evolutionary form of his.
Excellent. And Commissar Danica, since her promotion to full rank, she's no longer a junior officer. What's she up to? You're on mute, Crystal.
I am. All right. So Danica would be spending a lot of time continuing to hone her skills as a commissar, but also just as a continuing learner in general. So she would have someone teach her how to pilot a small ship at some point. And she would be spending more time with the other officers, continuing to build up networking connections that she may need to pull upon later for different things.
Excellent. Yeah, you're being trained in how to pilot a Corvus Blackstar, which is your void going dropship, which is provided to you by the fleet. Yeah, that's cool. And Elaine, we have a brand new character we have to learn about. So please introduce us to who you're playing and what are they doing while they're on board this mile-long ship heading to Gilead Prime.
Well, I shall be playing Lady Annette Augustine Valence, who is a sanctioned psyker, an ex-member of the nobility, and just goes to show that even if you're a noble in imperial society, if you manifest psychic abilities, the black ships will still come for you, and you will still end up indentured and going through the horrifying trials. Utterly would not recommend them at all for anybody. Not very fun. Yes, in terms of appearance, etc., she's being she constantly tries to reclaim this air of lost nobility, and with what little freedoms one's actually given as a psyker. They don't exactly let psychers just roam free and have their own money, etc. So things like she's tattooed on her makeup, because obviously when you're breaking out into a horrendous sweat channeling the powers of the wharf, one doesn't want to break out into sweat and ruin one's makeup, darling. And things like her she tries to sew together her own attire and things like that. She has a flak coat, which she spends her time like sewing away, embroidering and things like this. All these things that try to remind her of this luxury once lost. And to that end, as she is traveling, she will be sitting before her cognator, daintily typing away another letter to an imagined suitor or a long lost relative. And I've been traveling far, and I've been meeting all these wonderful new people. I think I saw the Beast Man running along a cannon the other day. They're very, very. Have you ever seen a beast? No, I don't imagine you would. You don't leave the palace very often. But let me tell you, they're interesting individuals, etc., etc. Typing these letters out, hitting send, and knowing that it will be intercepted and chewed up and blocked by whatever. She has a dedicated servitor who just screens all her mail, and it never goes anywhere. So there's always just these sending denied list of thousands upon thousands of these letters that never reach the people she's trying to send them to. But it's one of the few rituals she does to try and keep herself sane. And that plus rare bottles of Amsac that she can lift from whatever attempts she can, and maybe just the odd little bit of obscura, because they gave us some as a divination psyker. It helps broaden the mind, darling. And so she's developed a small taste for it, which she will probably imbibe from a long-stemmed pipe, etc. So that is Lady Augustine. Lady Annette Augustine Valence. I had to give them a long name, which I'll probably forget. But Lady Annette will do for my friends, darling.
That's cool. I mean, you will be one of a number of astropaths on board, and part of your role as an astropath is using technology to communicate messages long distance, or other roles such as that. I guess in your case, you've got the ability you've got some future sensing prescience abilities. So I guess that's quite useful for pilots and for the ship when there's danger. And whatever kind of cool powers can we expect to see from Lady Annette?
Well, for the most part, she is specialized in divination. She's helped hunt down the odd psyker in her time. And also she has some minor telekinetic abilities. Not that she uses them in anger very much. Oh, she's also got acute hemophilia. So hemophobia. So mortally terrified of blood. So she will be 100% quartered as far away, even if it's a 10-mile ship. She will be as far away from possible as the death cult assassin. I hear they bathe in blood. Oh, could you imagine such a thing? Oh, absolutely outrageous, darling. I can't. Even thinking about it sends me into hot shivers. No.
So, yes, so wherever you are currently stationed or whatever activities you're up to, you are contacted a number of Lady Veronius's Voidsmen. So Voidsmen are essentially guardsmen who are trained to live, breathe everything on a ship. Their life is on board a ship, and they expect to live on that ship for the rest of their lives. They don't dress like regular Astra Militarum. They have much more gaudy attire, and they come to your quarters or wherever you're lounging around or exercising or training, and ask for your that you should accompany them to a meeting because Lady Severina has new orders for you, and you will be taken along to one of the galleries on board the ship, a very long gallery that looks out onto the inky blackness of the warp, where if you just stare momentarily, you might see screaming faces of entities just, moving within this other realm, the immaterium, the very demons that wish to suck out your souls. And of course, you're safe from that because you have the wonder of the Gellerfield keeping the creatures of the warp outside of the ship. Before you, Lady Severina Veronius, she is sat at the head of a table. There is a decanter of Amasek and is pouring a glass for herself, and there are a number of glasses ready for you. And her Baroque servitors, who are designed for pleasantries and for serving meals. One of them, begins pouring you drinks and brings them around on a silver platter. Please, everyone, take a seat. My uncle was impressed by your previous work on the world of Charybdis. You will notice we've been en route to Gilead Prime. I hope you've taken the time over the last few days to get some well-needed rest, because I have another task for you. This hasn't come directly from my uncle, but it has come from a contact which I have on Gilead, and in particular on the world of Daedalon. It's a funerary mausoleum world. Well, moon. It's a moon around Gilead Prime. But by all means, take a seat, and I'll explain a little that I can. So who's enjoying the Amasek?
Oh,
Of course. Of course.
Never touch the stuff.
I will be dressed for dinner, of course, because I
course.
have multiple different attires, so fine dining attire.
Oh, dinner is being brought along as well. There is quite a selection of fine fish and sushi, given that the stocks were well supplied after being in orbit of Caribbean.
nice.
On the inside, I am incredibly excited, as this is probably the most luxury I've enjoyed in a number of years, but on the outside, I'll be acting completely calm and aloof. As if this is everyday occurrence, of course, yes.
There's also a rather luminous green liquid in another bottle, which is sat in a bowl of warm water, and if you ask about it, essentially what you've got there is sake made from algae on the world of Caribbean. So it's green and it's very potent.
Rufio attempts to eat the sushi, but with his large hands, which are very twitchy, he keeps breaking the chopsticks. So when he thinks no one's looking, he just tries to shovel some of the sushi into his mouth.
Of course.
Weir stands inside, observing, not participating
Of course.
in the meal.
Sister Mariana catches Rufio eating with his hands, and shakes her head as she expertly chopsticks the sushi into her mouth. Ruffian.
They
Within the
taught her that
power
at the
armor.
academy.
Is that the dexterity you have in power armor? You can pick up with the chopsticks.
Danica just gives him a, like the look.
I thought no one was looking. Why is everyone looking at me?
Lady Severina continues. I've been informed by a contact called Perdita Mendax to assemble a team. I would like you all to ensure you are well fed beforehand. Please, where it is uncomfortable if you do not partake of the food here. It is difficult to feel like we have a that you are part of the team, that you are a comrade of ours when we are discussing these matters. Simply, it is rude if you do not sit down and enjoy a meal once in a while.
He sits down uncomfortably on the edge of his chair.
And you can sip on whatever drink is there.
Yeah, if there's water.
There is some water as well. Yeah, so she continues. So, yes, Perdita Mendax, as I'm aware of, is a interrogator, a member of one of the ordos. She thus reports to a member of the Inquisition and requires a team to perform a task with, let's just say, you must be subtle. You must ensure you do not alert authorities on the world or anywhere else. Given the nature of the current situation in Gilead, and due to the fact that you are aboard this ship and not on Lord Veronius's own flagship, you were selected as perhaps the most obvious choice that we have, given that no one would suspect you. There isn't much
it is true. No one would expect us to be subtle and yes, indeed.
There isn't much I can say other than you'll be not going to Gilead Prime itself, but you'll be going to Daedalon, this moon has corpse processing facilities, and where many of Gilead Prime's nobility are buried. There are mausoleum cities there, amongst other things. That's all I can tell you at this moment. Perdita Mendax has been slim on her details, though of course we have had all the correct codes and to confirm her position, her rosette standard encoding of the message seems to correlate with our own codes, and so we believe that her requisitioning you is appropriate for this task. Do you have any other questions before I carry on with them? Before we could discuss any further this mission?
No, please continue, lady.
She continues, explaining just a little bit more about the world you're traveling to. There are a number of cities there, or which have workers who, toil hard over the many bodies to render them down, to turn them into corpse starch, and as well use other parts of their bodies in the manufacture of servitors and of servo skulls. As this conversation goes on, an icy coldness overcomes all of you as the ship translates from the immaterium back into real space, bursting into the materium. And from your position, you can look out and see the pinprick of light, which is Gilead Prime itself, and of course the stars, the star field around it. And then that's all you remember. You awake in shoddy clothes, covered in filth, in some massive cargo container, and all around you are hundreds, if not, many hundreds, almost 1,000 corpses. There is the thrumming of engines as this cargo carrier is moving somewhere. It's shaking, and as you scrabble around, your hands are clawing over these slowly rotting people. Their faces, hundreds, their eyes bulging, their bellies bloating with noxious necrotic gases. None of you have any of your equipment on you or are attired as you would expect.
I scream.
Yeah.
Weir, what did you do?
Oh,
You
no.
probably can't pick Weir out of the mess of corpses at this point.
Right?
Yeah.
He's the one that's moving around.
Yeah, he probably isn't yet.
I scream even more.
Oh. All right. What is the last thing everyone remembers?
You can all make a awareness roll to see what you can remember. I think awareness is
That'd
appropriate.
be awful. Oh, yeah.
Nope. Got nothing.
Oh, I got 2.
Oh,
Two's not enough.
1, 2,
Ugh.
3. I got
Nothing.
3, but I got a 1 on my wrath die.
Oh, okay, brilliant.
Uh-oh.
We know what we're going to do then. So Lady Annette obviously certainly can hold her drink, plus mostly from smoking Obscura, and in her early days before her latent psychic abilities came to the forefront, you certainly have gone to various other narco dens in your time, and whatever you were drugged with didn't really block out everything. You
no.
certainly remember being on board the Absolution when, after you'd finished your meal, a strange figure who you remember was Interrogator Mendax approached and explained your mission. Mendax is a member of the Ordo Xenos, or at least you remember the word Ordo Xenos being floated around. And her entire lower half of her body was missing and replaced with tracks. She was basically part servitor, but obviously still cognitive, still human in that respect. One of her arms, her right arm, was missing and replaced with a cruel array of sickle-like appendages, and her entire lower half of her face again is replaced with various other cybernetic replacements. Clearly she'd been through the wars. She explained that her current situation was was the cost of hunting down and destroying a cult within the Gilead system, and that she was looking for something in particular upon this world. So yes, you enjoyed, you were drinking and then kind of just, drifted off, and that's about as much as you remember. At which point, as you're trying to recall all these details, there's a shift in like the entire like cargo hold that you were in begins to bank as you realize that you're within some sort of aircraft or some sort of carrier, and then the pile of bodies begins to roll around and almost tumble as if it's a sea of flesh, and you're just covered in them and begin to scream and lose your mind. So I think you're going to really have to make a fear test with the difficulty of with your fear of blood. So we'll say +1 on the fear test, because they're not like dripping blood; they are bodies in rigor mortis. But the entire site has just got the most of you.
So that's resolve, isn't it, for fear
Yeah,
test?
resolve. Yeah.
You get double your rank bonus.
I do.
From me.
Oh,
Because Darnica's there.
Because you're gonna power through this.
Yeah.
oh wow. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 3 successes, 2 icons.
Excellent. Yeah, you keep it together. You dry heave a bit, but you're okay. Darnica mostly.
That this is just like this is a hallucination. I've experienced hallucinations before. They train us to resist these. It's just a hallucination. It's fine. It's not real. It's fine. And just curled up.
So yeah, Darnica, seeing this, seeing the anxiety going through Annette, you mostly put a hand on her shoulder just to try and calm her down. And then moments later, there's another shift as the carrier you're in stops, and then you feel some movement from below, and then you all drop. The pile of bodies falls out from the bottom of this carrier into a heap. There are floodlights around you as the doors of the cargo hold have been opened up, and all the cadavers are dumped in a big pile. And you're in some landing pad, and it is torrential rain outside. So the stench is disappearing.
Oof,
You
good.
can't see much other than what lighting there is. And one of you, I'll pick Rufio, because mostly people would look at his body and kind of go, "Oh, I'm not going to deal with that one." You realize something is attached to you inside your robes. There's a data slate, and attached to it a stalker flare. So it's just a flare that lights up.
Mm-hmm.
You can wait for the others to find everyone else before you illuminate the data slate.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rufio smells like wet goat.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting session here. Yeah, so I'm going to yeah, I mean, we have spotlights on us, so we should be able to see everyone that's standing up. I don't know, Weir was probably like blending into whatever kind of surroundings there are. But
Weir lacks all of his clothing and equipment.
Doesn't matter.
But he
matter
also
in this
doesn't
situation.
have skin on his face.
No, well, it seems like someone did something clever for you. As you realise that you're actually wearing a face. It's not one of the ones that you've collected.
A new face. Excellent.
But it has been stapled around your skull, so it holds on, so you blended in with the corpse.
Quick question. Immediate reaction.
Right.
Dumped out of this cargo container full of corpses. Body is just... What the ground was like concrete?
Yeah, it'll be a plasticrete, yeah.
Any large broken bones that I can grab and use as a weapon?
There might be, not broken bones, but there will be severed limbs you could pick up and use as a club.
More of a stabby person, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so Rufio will look around for everyone else in the party and just kind of motion to move off the corpse pile. Is there any place? Maybe I'll turn to Weir. We're all kind of laying low in this pile of corpses, and Rufio will go like, "Weir, can you guide us out of here so that the spotlights won't see us?"
Can I get the lay of the land? Figure out a quick.
Yeah, you can make a perception roll.
Once we're out of sight, I have a data slate on me, which we can review and see if it has any explanations.
Do you have any pants on you? I can see your shame. Points to your little goat feet.
No, I'll need to find a larger robe. It seems like they only had normal human-sized robes.
Yes, well, that was their mistake and our misfortune.
Where?
I have 3 with a exalted icon.
Okay, you're in you're on a large landing pad. There are slowly crumbling walls around it, upon which there are the floodlights illuminating the continuous stream of bodies coming out from the cargo carrier. Because as the first cargo hold you're in dump bodies, it moves along, and the next lot is dumped in another mountain of bodies nearby. No one is coming from the gates or from any of the whatever observation towers that you can see are coming forward yet, because I'm sure they're waiting for all the bodies to be piled to be dumped first before they start collecting them or doing whatever they're going to do with the bodies.
I would think that once you can kind of maneuver around the piles as cover. I would find a route that would take us to either somewhere we can scale the wall or get through a gate, and I would just motion for them to follow me.
Okay. Quick, let's follow him.
And of course, it is torrential rain as well at this time, so visibility is low as well. So it'll be hard for someone to see you at this moment. Once you find a bit of cover somewhere a little bit dry, is likely a place. It's like it's a piece of cover which they keep like a truck under when it's parked there, ready to take bodies away or something. You're able to activate the data slate.
All right, gather round, everyone.
In green text, as luminous green text, the following comes up. Rufio, you might need someone to read it for you. I don't know what your comprehension's like.
What? I can read just fine.
No, okay.
I can read.
I'm just
making
making sure.
High Gothic, Low Gothic.
Can you though?
Yep. And to prove it, Rufio starts reading the High Gothic
with immaculate dictation.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of an underhive slang to it, but yeah.
Esteemed subjects of the Emperor, this message will be wiped from its data slate in 10 Terran Standard minutes. So I'll not waste time. Thank you for the undertaking in this crucial service for the Emperor and his Holy Inquisition. The need for secrecy in this operation cannot be understated. Under my authority as an interrogator of the Holy Orders of the Inquisition, I issue this directive. Find the xenos artefact known as the Revelator from the Gelfradus family necropolis and bring it to me. Little is known of the Revelator beyond its appearance, its vast rumored power, and redacted. Its form is an unusual metallic bottle inlaid with undeciphered runes, and its use is a mystery that I plan to solve. We believe the Revelator is in the tomb complex of the once venerable Gelfradus family. Their coat of arms consisted of a shield emblazoned with the imperial aquila flanked by 2 lions rampant. Their credo was, "His truth surrounds us." The Gelfradus Mausoleum is located near the city of Barastia, on the cemetery moon of Daedalon. We have delivered you to the city, but have no further data. The Revelator must be found quickly to keep it from the clutches of the enemy. Records at the Librarium Mortem of Barastia might aid you in finding the necropolis. We have limited intel on the local recreant named Diomedes, who may also be able to guide you, though I recommend avoiding the low-born bone slingers of this inert rock. Secrecy is paramount to this operation. You lose your loose or non-existent ties to the Holy Orders of the Inquisition were among the many reasons you were chosen to carry out this most imperative of missions. Like the stalker flare attached to this data slate in an inconspicuous area when you have acquired the Revelator, so that my ship may collect you. You may remember little of our agreement. Our Medicaid expert administered a relaxant to you that allowed you to pass for cadavers, and you then all suddenly realize, that was why we were having a meal. A necessity to transport you to the cemetery moon covertly. The only side effect of the treatment is a slight loss of memory, but we must all make sacrifices in his name. Your equipment has been concealed in a false cadaver with a electro tattoo of the Aquila. I recommend you start searching and find it before the corpse tenders arrive. Rest assured that the Inquisition will recompense you with you adequately for the successful completion of this mission as we arranged. May the Emperor watch over you. Interrogator Perdita Mendax. So there's a corpse somewhere with a Aquila tattoo on it in a particular way, most likely also bearing some other iconography that picks it out in particular, which contains your equipment. Or there are a number of cadavers in the pile that you got dumped in that contains all your equipment.
Be a big corpse to fit a suit of power armor on them.
There's likely a really big Ogren corpse somewhere. There'll be let's just say it's more than likely to fit all your equipment in. There's going to be some Ogren corpses there. Whether you're going to have power armor that's going to be easily brought to the planet, I'm going to say no. I would say equipment like power armor is not being provided. So essentially what you will have there is, in equipment that you will have been provided, is clothing of a basic form will be packaged up, your weapons, and in the case of those of you that need it or have it, any emblems of your position that you need if you need to pull rank. Otherwise, any clothing that's been provided is such that you can blend in with the populace. So you will not look like a commissar. You will not look like a sister of battle. Rufio looks as he does. Annette, obviously, you don't have any fine garb there. And it means you won't have your mask. You will have your power swords and stuff, but you won't have like your chameleonic kind of cloak and stuff.
I'll make do.
But that's why they've given you a stapled on face for the day.
And they could have just let me do it. Amateurs. I will promptly start looking for said corpse.
Yep.
Indeed.
I'm sorry, did it say loose or non-existent ties to the various ordos? Because I don't think I appreciate that tone.
Let's process that later, before our gear gets processed. Or after.
So you need to make awareness or investigation rolls to find the false cadaver and find your equipment.
All right.
Who's good at investigation?
I'm gonna roll investigation.
I have 4 dice of investigation.
You can all take care of this.
I rolled 3 exalted icons.
Wow.
Including one on the wrath die.
That's a good point. So we've got glory.
I've got 2 icons and 1 exalted icon. So 3 successes.
And remembering that everyone starts with 5 wrath.
Icon.
Everyone starts with what?
5. Top 5 wrath. 2 wrath, isn't it? And glory. That means you can shift at least one of those exalted icons into the glory pool. So that's 1.
I will.
Who else got successes?
I did.
Cool.
I got 2 successes and 1 exalted icon.
Okay, good. Right. Yeah, you between you, you find the cadavers and quickly unstitch them, and packaged in a rubberized cloth, you pull out from the from within them your equipment, all packaged up, plus also a change of clothes, which mostly you're not going to try and put on just yet, because you also need to get out of where you are. No one got any complications? That's okay. Yes.
I did not investigate. I'm not going near the pile of bodies again.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. You can take care of that. And when I'm handed the equipment, I'll smell it and oh, it smells of corpses.
You said there's clothes in there, but is my body glove armor?
No.
Okay. No armor at all.
No armor, no, because it's just too bulky to put in there with
Would
everything else.
Have the refractor field, which is it's like a piece of jewelry?
Yeah, you'll have that.
Yay.
So Donica, you've got your bolt pistol and chainsword, but you don't have your cane that you acquired.
Oh,
yeah.
My cane.
The one major building that you can see where you are right now, because in this quadrangle, this landing pad, is a towering Gothic piece of architecture, which is the Barastia Cathedral, and you can just make that out in the gloom, and pumping out noxious fumes and clouds of filth. To the south from where you are, there is a huge manufactorum which you imagine processes bodies, turns them into all manner of food or equipment or servitors. You're not quite sure exactly what it's making, but it's certainly making them from bodies. So once you've got your equipment, which direction do you want to head to? Do you want to go to the cathedral, or do you want to go, or just get out of the quadrangle?
I will follow the commissar and battle's lead.
Oh, no, you won't follow my lead. Great. I think Rufio is going to check quickly with Lady Annette to get some information here. Lady, do you have any means of communication? I understand that you're an astropath. In case we're in an emergency, our only other means of contact is the stalker flare that I have on me.
Yes, unfortunately, I can't quite communicate with a ship in orbit without the appropriate equipment. Unfortunately,
Good.
Not good.
I mean, unfortunate, but it's good to know. Good to know for the rest of us, just to establish that. Commissar, as a tactical officer of this operation, I would recommend. Seems as though we have essentially three options that were outlined to us. Correct? We have the library, seeing what we can find about the tomb. Believe, and Chris, you can clarify this. There is Demetus. That was an individual that we could meet with.
Diomedes, yeah.
Diomedes. Wow, misheard that one. We have Diomedes, whom we could meet with, and then there is also the option of the local bone slingers. In an emergency, they may have some information, although they could be indeed a threat to us as well.
Let's do.
I recommend we check at the librarium.
Let's do the librarium.
We know who we're looking for. We know how to track them down. We just need to do so.
Also, do not call me commissar on this planet. I will shoot you every single time. And I will keep track of every single time you call me commissar on this planet.
What should
Starting
we call
now.
you?
Understood, Danny.
That may get a chain sword. We'll see.
Don't provoke the commissar.
The angry lady.
As you're huddled together, keeping on the dry, you see four robed figures shuffle in a procession towards the landing pad as the last cargo container of bodies has been dumped. And they're dressed in, water repellent robes, but also likely they're designed not just to repel water, but other bodily fluids. And they are adorned with various other trinkets that are surely made from carved bone. And they begin to look over the pile of bodies, looking around. I'm going to see if any of them spot you. Let's do that. You can all make a stealth roll.
Thank you.
Oh.
It's not going to go well.
You still have more dice than I do.
Oh.
6. Okay.
It's 0 successes and 1 on the wrath die, so I'm doing well.
Oh, excellent.
4 successes, including an exalted success.
Okay.
5 including.
Always gotta be better than me, weird.
You try and keep in trying to keep out of sight. However, so who got a 1 on the wrath die? Oh, okay. Yeah. Lady Annette, you're still your stomach is churning with what you've seen, and it doesn't take much for you to misplace a step and slip on is it a liver? We don't know. You slip on something and you land flat on your ass in the middle of everything, making a loud bang, and the corpse tenders turn and start approaching where you are, at which point, of course, they see Danica trying to dart out of sight as the others are cowering behind a pile of bodies somewhere. Who goes there? You can't. You shouldn't be here. These are the holy bodies for the God Emperor. State your purpose here.
Oh,
we got lost.
Lost. So is everyone else
drunk and lost? I'm so sorry. We didn't mean to end up here.
Who are you? He begins to brandish what looks like a small chainsaw type.
I'm assuming
slicing bodies apart.
I was successful on my stealth.
Oh yeah.
I start circling behind them.
Oh no.
And I just start pulling out a power blade.
Oh, we're about to get waterproof robes, you guys.
Whoa. We'll go. I'm gonna hook my arm around Lady Elaine, and we're gonna just turn and beeline.
Right. Are you going to try and... Okay, you're going to have to try and bluff your way out of this. So you're going to have to do...
Do we though?
Oh, I just upped this one. So let me do this.
So yeah, you're going to have to make a deception test.
Awesome.
Can I use my deduction talent to try and buff that?
I will wait for a signal. Executing.
Rufio is standing back laughing in goat language.
All right, I have 4 total successes, one of which is an exalted icon.
Okay. Yeah, you succeed in bluffing them by just saying you took a wrong turn and walked in here earlier.
Certainly probably look miserable enough to have been people who accidentally wandered into a corpse pile.
They look at you kind of puzzled. Well, the way out, head to the cathedral. That's the way out. Don't head into the priory. That's where we process corpse, and I'd rather you not get confused with the rest of them. The last thing we want is a innocent worker to the God Emperor being turned into corpse starch. If you don't mind us, we've got business to attend to, and I don't have time to be dealing with interlopers. So be gone with you now, young ladies.
Well, thank you so much, sir. And we'll just beeline it for the cathedral.
Lovely pile of corpses you have here. Enjoy chopping them up and things. Yes, that was horrible. This is a horrible place.
You scurry off as a group towards the cathedral, given that it's mostly a way of blending in with the crowd, because there'll be obviously many people going to the cathedral to pray to the God Emperor, and that way you can likely blend into the crowd and thus get onto the streets of Barastir quite easily. It is a constant reminder to the moon's purpose, as the cathedral is basically an ossuary. So the walls are festooned with skulls and bones of the millions upon billions of people brought to this world over the thousands of years. It's a massive cathedral, and as you enter through one of the side passageways, you're met with the sound of, you can hear sermons murmuring through the cathedral as laborers return or are ready to go back to their work at the Priory of the Sacred Form, this corpse processing facility. Surrounding the main chamber, though, of the cathedral, as you look up, there's stained glass of various saints and of the God Emperor defeating dragons and demonic entities. There are multiple chaplets and places where people can worship in private, or they can speak to a minister to speak of their sins and seek repentance. Go on.
I was going to ask, is there
no.
How do you think they choose which bones go into the ossuary and which get turned into food?
They all do.
I would think you would know, lady, that it's a great honor to be included in such an ossuary, and only the most noble of the Emperor's subjects are blessed to become part of the architecture.
But they just dump them outside.
Yes,
It's only
those
for the
ones.
common people.
Yes, those are the commoners. Only the most noble. I'm sure the lady one day will join such magnificent palace.
Yes, I'm sure some of my ancestors are up there somewhere. Really lovely decor.
It's a good point, because obviously there is a part of the cathedral which is, as you're just walking around, you realise is patrolled by numerous enforcers who are, you've met enforcers before on Charybdis, but on Charybdion, but these ones, the style of their armor features many more iconography related to death and skulls, because they protect what's quite clearly the crypts to many of the nobility who are, or even saints that are kept within the cathedral. But as you're walking around and you go through another main hall where there are thousands of people listening to the sermons of some priest, you can see that the main exit, which leads out onto the streets of the city itself. This cathedral is humongous. It would be like going into is the size of like a football stadium in its footprint, perhaps even larger. And of course, exiting into the streets of Barastia is, you go from the grandeur and Gothic opulence of the ossuary-like cathedral into a city which is it's just blanketed with rain. It feels filthy, and there are smoking forms of vehicles pumping out fumes as they rumble along, carrying large containers worth of bones or body parts, again to be used in some other industry elsewhere within the city. There are various emblems or flags which depict the Adeptus Administratum or the Adeptus Mechanicus, and these flags are clearly decaying in the very damp atmosphere of this moon. So there are a number of places that well, there's definitely one place you're looking for, which is the Librarium Mortem, which you should be able to identify because it would be quite an imposing building. But as you're going to find it, there are some you can explore the city itself a little bit, but the city is mainly home to common folk. Anyone that's considered higher up than the common folk are priests who will be living within the cathedral or other chapels dotted around.
Well, if we go to the librarium, I assume that Rufio probably shouldn't go in there. It's going to draw a lot of attention. So just putting that out there, Danny, that I should probably wait outside.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad idea. Maybe finding some place for us to either hide or sleep for the night if it comes to that, or if we're going to try to get this done as soon as possible.
I'm really good at finding random nooks to sleep in, so I can do that while you're at the library.
Okay.
Should
Cool.
probably find somewhere to change as well out of these rags to these slightly better rags.
Yeah, that would be.
There's some bushes over there.
I was gonna say, is there like any sort of like public bathhouse or anything like that here, or?
Yeah, there'll be some sort of public place for workers to clean themselves off after a hard day, turning bodies into food. As they do in the corpse starch reclamation facilities.
Okay. So yeah, why don't we go there first before we actually hit the librarium? Because smelling like corpses going into a library probably not going to be appreciated.
Good point. I'm assuming that Rufio cannot bathe with everyone else, so he will ask.
I've always assumed Rufio just couldn't bathe.
Weir, could you? Weir, you're very.
Either.
Weir, you're very stealthy. Could you steal some shampoo from me? I'll just wash off in the rain out here.
Some soap made from the fat of people that have been brought to this world to be turned into corpse starch. Yeah, very. Yeah.
I got right now. Rufio's got a lot of garbage in his fur, so he's gonna need to clean that out. So if Weir would be so kind.
It doesn't take much effort for you to find somewhere to clean off. They are functional facilities, prefabricated hab blocks that are designed for the workers. You have the smallest chances to go in, use a ration's worth of water, and to essentially, I wouldn't say it's a shower. It's more like you power hose yourself of all the filth off you, and then you find some old, using the old rags you had to, I guess, you dry yourselves off a little and put on your fresh clothing. And your clothing is waterproof. It's been, it's designed to be waterproof. You look like workers that would be on this world, but you're also provided with a cloak as well, which is again made of a waxy material under which you can hide your equipment. So you're able to blend in. You look like you're more than likely, you're not workers, but you're like foremen that work in some of the factories or toil away making the mausoleums. So you at least look like you command some sort of respect, at least respect amongst the plebs.
Right.
I'll be like tearing up the old clothes to make like an inopportune like hair fasten, and then like a little belt, and then wear the cloak off the shoulders. And the piece of jewelry I have is the refractor field, so that'll be like on the neck around here. I'll be like, we must make the most of what we can.
Yes, and you set off into the city itself, looking for the librarium. And anything, and obviously Rufio, you're, I guess, just scouting the city itself, seeing what's going on.
Yep.
So, stood tall and imposing with Doric columns inlaid with centuries of grime, skull-faced statues aligning it, very Grim Reaper-looking figures on top with bearing blades and scythes, is the librarian Mortem. It's about 200 meters tall, so it's as large, almost as large as the cathedral itself as well. It is a huge place to accommodate the constant growing documentation of death and destruction in Gilead. So it contains information of every single person that's processed and brought to this world, even if it's a single line or it's their entire bibliography or biography of that person. This place contains all that information. The Battle Sisters of the Order of the Sanctified Shield patrol the steps of the entrance regularly. But Sister Mariana is not a member of that order.
She can talk the talk, and she can...
Actually, I have it on my character sheet that I am in fact a member of the Order of the Sanctified Shield.
Are you actually a member of that order?
It's been on that sheet since day one.
You're a local, aren't you? You're a local to the Gilead.
I am from here, yeah.
Yeah, excellent. So yes, they're patrolling as they are in their resplendent power armor, bearing bolt guns to protect the holy information held within. Of course, you look like general workers and foremen of this planet, so you go past them through the entrance, and inside the vast librarium is barely lit by candles carried on top of servo skulls. So the candles are literally just dripping wax onto the servo skull itself to hold us, and then some of them have got a lot more smaller candles, and as they move around, floating on their suspensor fields, some of them are dripping wax as they go. One or two have appendages so they can pick up things. Another few are carrying incense burners to cover up the musty smell of the people within and the slowly decaying paperwork. And of course, beyond that fills most of that chamber and many other chambers are colossal rows of shelving holding scrolls, tomes, and the odd data slates. It just goes on and on and on, this record of death. Yes. And of course, there are queues upon queues of people, of functionaries from the administration, from the ecclesiarchy, from the Adepta Soriata. There's a short queue of them as they are accessing what looks like a dusty data screen, and each time they key in something, the pick screen illuminates a small holographic display, and then a server skull comes over, interfaces with the screen before floating off again to find what they've asked for. So this is the way you can look for information, is using this data screen. Though it is a long queue, you're going to be there for some time waiting to get access. Meanwhile, Rufio, you've headed off down into the main central square of the city, Memento Square, and there are hundreds of thousands died there during the Gilead Crusade, during the liberation of the system from the clutches of the forces of chaos, the ruinous powers. And now you have this cobbled square again with numerous statues to various saints and heroes. And in amongst all this, there, with tarpaulin to keep it all dry, there is a bazaar. It's a market square. There are people selling trinkets that have been harvested from bodies or made from bones and flesh and sinew. So also you could find something to eat if you wanted to find something to eat. I don't know what grows on the soil of this world. Potentially the soil of this world could be quite good.
Yeah, it's so wet here.
That's definitely what grows here. Mushrooms.
Yeah, mushrooms.
There are what they grow here. The local delicacy is the Daedalon Death's Head mushroom, and they're these almost black mushrooms, and they are what you know of it as you go around. They harvest them fresh, and they grow everywhere. But also they ship them off world, and by drying them out. And it then strikes you, Rufio, that you have eaten one of these when you were on Caribbean. kind of like a shiitake mushroom in your noodles, whatever you ate while you were there.
Yeah. I remember those. I'm fine at the moment. Actually feeling a little sick to my stomach from all this, all the corpses I've seen. So I'll just continue. Rufio will just kind of continue through and see if he can find a fairly secure but abandoned building to make into a base of operations.
Sure.
Or an abandoned basement.
Okay. While you're doing that, back at the library, is anyone actually going to queue? Or are you going to try and push forward?
Oh no, Sister Mariana gets right at the end of that line. She believes in the power of law and order, and we just wait our time. Our turn will come.
It's your holy duty to follow cues wherever you see them.
It's how she was raised.
I will just kind of look at Commissar.
Obviously, there are around in the entrance. There are desks of archivists who've got their desks are piled high with paperwork. They're obviously trawling through. They're transcripting things to tomes, inputting them into archaic cogitators, and so forth, and are attended to by servo skulls, who they send off to collect or take information into the archives. It's going to be about half an hour or more until you get to the end of that queue. At which point, Sister Mariana, you can, as you do your duty, you can key in the information you're looking for into the cogitator there, into the data slate. You are looking for information on this noble Galfredo and his necropolis. As you do so, you key in, beep, beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, boop, and a message is displayed in, you do need him. It displayed in luminous green, and it says, Adept unavailable. So no servo skull appears to retrieve the data. The data is, or the data, or the servitor which would know where to find this is missing, or not available, or broken.
Well, somebody should speak with the sister in charge. This is highly irregular.
Can you look up where it last was?
Well, let me check. Can I, in fact, look up where in this massive librarium the information would be?
You don't know. It's the servitor itself would know. The servitor that would take you there, or the servo skull.
Yeah, where the servitor was, like the
servo skull is unavailable. That is all it can tell you.
Okay.
You might just have to do the most sister of battle thing you could do, which is put a complaint in at the right desk.
That's what I'm saying. We need to go speak to whoever's in charge.
There you go. I guess we follow that. You walk over to a desk where there is to one of the archivists. There is she's got long black hair. She's got various attachments plugged into her skull. Her robes are covered in various litanies. She has skulls and bones attached to her clothing, and she bears the iconography of the Adeptus Administratum. She peers up, looks up over her glasses. Yes, can I help you? If you wish for any information, you should join the end of the queue.
Yes. In fact, we've just gone through the queue. Unfortunately, the information that we are looking for is unavailable.
All information is available if you input the information as correct as possible. I assure you no information is missing.
No, the information itself is here somewhere. However, the servo skull is unavailable.
The servo skull is unavailable?
Strange. Or perhaps it's been damaged, or perhaps somebody stole it. Do you allow thieves into your librarium? Certainly not.
Please give me the information you're wishing to look up.
We're looking for information on the Gofrades family necropolis. Its location.
Gofrades family. Let me just put that into the cogitator here. She does so, and then she actually has to pull a lever for it to start whirring and churning through the hard drive that's there. Yes, of course. Huh. How silly of me. The servo skull this is a pair of servo skulls you're looking for, who will have this information for you and understand and know where this information is stored. They are the Kalidas twin skulls. Unfortunately, they went missing possibly 2 weeks ago. Yes, I remember. Yes, 2 weeks ago. It's unfortunate they went missing. I'm still perturbed by why they were stolen.
So you do allow thieves into your librarian. That's excellent.
They were not stolen from here. They are survey skulls that not only perform their task and duties, they also attend to me on other matters when I'm away from the librarian. I was unfortunately accosted by some individual claiming he needed help reading a prayer book. He obviously claimed to be illiterate. And he then coshed me over the head. I woke and my servo skulls were missing.
Yes, that is in fact terrible. Are you feeling better now?
I'm much better. Thank you for your for inquiring about my health. So, for the information you require, the only way to get that would be to find who took these skulls and bring the servo skulls back to the library, and we will be able to then access their data banks.
Yes, that is awful. Where did this altercation occur?
It happened near my hab room. I can give you the address. The fellow who did it, I remember his face. He was a bit scummy, must be a local. Mismatched teeth. I think some of his teeth were not his own, but actually teeth taken from a corpse, such is the way of people around here. Had an eye patch over his left eye. A goatee, yes. Rasping voice, sniffling all the time. Yes.
Sounds like
horrible
an
fellow.
Absolutely awful brute. I hope he gets his comeuppance.
Yes. Well, I would hope so. I would hope in recovering these servo skulls for me, you might bring him to justice as well. After all, he has interfered with the holy work of the administratum on this world.
Sounds terrible.
I turn and start leaving. Like, okay.
It's like, I'm going to kill someone, and I know who it is.
Does anybody have insight so we can check and see if this nun is just lying to our faces? Because
I do.
Nope.
Since you're there,
I will roll insight.
Her description of the guy just sounds too pat, you know?
Okay, so I have 1 exalted icon and a 1 on my wrath die. I broke Chris.
Processing, loading.
You obviously you're watching this conversation go on, and while she's not behind her desk, you start just looking at what she's doing, looking at the paperwork. Maybe she's trying to hide something in the paperwork she's got in front of her. Maybe the information you're looking for is in the paperwork there. You try to move something, and an entire stack of scrolls and books just falls off the table and goes everywhere. Every other archivist looks in your direction, and they scowl.
We should leave.
The archivist, Ababea, looks in your direction. I don't know who the hell you are, but get out of here now. You've just made an awful mess of my work.
You'll have to excuse my cousin.
She snaps her fingers.
She was hit on the head as a small child. She has issues. It's
one
very,
of the
very sad.
Adeptus Soriatus, a sister of battle, starts walking in your direction, brandishing her bolt gun.
Come along, Danny. Come along.
All right, I will make my way. I will trip a couple of times just to kind of prove that I am just a klutz. Oh no. And and walk towards the entrance or the exit.
I'm gonna watch this.
And yeah, as Danica, as you head out of the entrance, the Sister of Battle that follows you makes a point to push you out the door. And can you just make an athletics roll for me?
I bought one of those.
But I want you to make it with. You're gonna have to get at least 2 successes because it's the steps are wet.
All right. I've got 2 successes.
Yeah, she tries to push you down the steps, but you keep your footing. And yeah, you're as a commissar. I don't know how you feel right now that you're being manhandled by a Sister of Battle.
Is there any So I actually don't know. Are there any sort of insignia or markings as to individual Sisters of Battle?
You know which order she's part of, but you wouldn't be able to tell. You know, she may have particular tattoos on her face or on her that are typical that Sister of Battle do wear as holy iconography. There might be some sort of piece of parchment with a litany on it, but there's nothing that would mark her out. It's not like she's got like a police number. You can go, it was Sister of Battle N761. That's clearly who I'm going to report. No.
I am just going to say the God Emperor protects.
Excellent. Meanwhile, Mike, Rufio is you found somewhat an abandoned hab block. Not hab block, but you found somewhere that's a bit abandoned. You know, it's dank and dripping water in from above. They'll do as somewhere to hide.
Yeah, I assume that it's not inhabited because it just has like 6 inches of water on the floor. I mean, the cots in there are raised, so it'll be okay. Just gonna get your shoes a little wet or your hoofs.
So once you found that, you can head back towards the market square and then head back towards the librarium. And you know, the market square is mostly the best place to wait because they'll have to pass through the market square to the market square is the most central point to meet.
Yeah, they didn't know that, so I'll probably just go back to the librarium and meet them there.
You meet maybe on the road along the way.
Okay, sure.
But yeah, you're mostly let's just say you get back because they would have queued for ages. You get back in time to watch Danica about to be tossed down the steps of the librarium and watching this very frigid eye contact between the commissar undercover and this Sister of Battle who is clearly just doing her job.
Well, hello everyone. Did you find the information we were looking for? Are we ready to just complete our tasks for the day?
Unfortunately, the information retrieval system has been stolen, so we must first retrieve system. Then we can retrieve the information. Then we can retrieve the bottle. Yes, the metallic bottle.
Okay, good. Seems like you have some descriptions of this individual. I could go rough up some heads in the seedier parts of town and see if I can find anything. You know, maybe someone tried to sell some servitors or someone that may be collecting such things.
I also got the location of an altercation that took place between this scribe and this particular ruffian. If I can get some time alone there, I could potentially peer into events that transpired. These powerful emotional outbursts tend to leave after images in the warp, and I could potentially find out exactly where this individual went after this happened. We did get the location.
Yeah, that sounds like a great plan, Lydia. And I think we should do that first. And you can work your gift while the rest of us are an understandable distance away. A cautious distance away.
Yeah. And I think that's a good point. We will have a break for 15 minutes, and then we will return to that scene and whatever anyone else wants to do, because you will pass through Memento Square. Some of you might want to obviously ask around for the person you're looking for there, because it's a market square. There's lots of people to meet. But yeah, we shall break there. We will be back very soon.
Excellent. Before we completely break, I just want to let people know, if you see a little donation bar at the top of the screen, Gehenna Gaming is raising funds for RAIN here in the United States all week. RAIN runs the National Sexual Abuse Hotline and with local sex abuse service providers across the United States. So we are doing fundraising for them all week. So if you get an opportunity to, appreciate that. We will also be running a special back-to-back one-shots on Wednesday as part of that, in conjunction with Onyx Path as well.
Awesome.
On that note, we'll be back soon.
And we're back. So, right now, characters are off to investigate a crime scene and also heading off to just generally investigate by talking to the locals to try and find the person that stole these servo skulls. So I'm going to look up my list of psychic powers so I know exactly which one's going to be pulled off here and how difficult it's going to be. So this is under it's going to be under divination, isn't it?
Yes,
psychometry.
Psychometry, yeah.
Yeah, I would advise that we use the psyker's abilities first, so that if we can find all the information we need without tipping off anyone, I think that would be the safest, most stealthy approach. And of course, as we all know, this is a mission of subtlety and utter chaos, but mostly subtlety.
I just
That's
turn
why
and
they
look
sent
at
us for subtlety.
I just turn and look at both.
Excellent. So yeah, you set off through the city, passing through Memento Square. So the others, you witness this huge square as a memorial to the crusade, the Gilead Crusade that liberated the system. You then actually realize, or you read some plaques that not only is the square cobbled, but in amongst the cobbles are also the skulls and bones of those rebellious leaders that were pacified by the Emperor's Holy Crusade. And you set off heading in the direction to the archivist's hab block and to the front to where she was accosted as she was leaving her apartment.
As we're passing through like the market and whatnot, would I be able to spot somewhere that might sell just a teeny tiny bit of obscura? The illicit drug that it is.
You're gonna have to do a awareness test then to have a look around. Awareness or investigation? Investigation.
Investigation. Okay. My investigation currently is 5 dice in total.
It should be too difficult. I mean, everyone's hawking their wares. Obscura, of course, are going to be doing it kind of subtly because it is illegal.
So it's 1 icon and 1 exalted icon. So 3.
Okay, you find people that are selling narco sticks, and some people are selling like snuff. Others are selling what is kind of a snuff, but they're saying it's like some powdered bone fragment of psychers. Which sounds really weird.
No, thank you. Not that one.
Obviously, there are various items on offer. People are selling relics of saints, the toes of a saint, or they're obviously offering augmetics, because obviously they would have taken from bodies. They would have reclaimed cybernetics. There are some people that will actually apply them. They will actually use the cybernetics on you. Others are have vellum, and you don't know where they've got the parchment to make that vellum. Clearly it is made of skin. There are all manner of trinkets on offer. Let me see. Oh yeah, okay, cool. And as you're looking around, there is a very noisome stall worker who is who's trying to hawk her wares, proclaiming that she has the best around, touting all manner of items and apparent holy relics, and also saying that she can perform some minor surgery and repair augmetics at a good price for people. And you, as you just look closer, because you're obviously just in the market looking around, you notice that hanging from her bandolier is a key, and upon this key is a shield emblazoned with an aquila with 2 rampant lions. It is the Galfredus crest.
Interesting.
Can I help you, my dear? You look in the market for something interesting. A curio, maybe. This finger came from Saint Guinevere. This eyeball, encased in the finest of resins, comes from 5 sectors away, where this hero of the Imperium fought the Green Menace. And this item here comes from the Gothic sector, having faced, what was it now? We must not speak of them, but they faced them in the Gothic War, this small relic. It is his toe, after all, but it will give you luck. It will give you luck on your journeys, young dear. Or maybe you want something a bit different. I see your right eye is very beautiful and all, but I could give you a good price for it to replace it for you.
No, thank you. I'm very keen on my eyes. Oh, but this one, and am I alone at this stall, or is there anyone?
It depends how the others are being. It depends how nonchalant the others are being.
If I can distract them by like, this eyeball here is very lovely, and then I'll just clumsily, like half knock. Oh no, I'm terribly sorry. And try and cause a fuss, and see if anybody who's slightly more dexterous, might be able to pilfer a certain key.
So as you knock over something, and the store merchant picks it all up, we're gonna go help.
Wow.
And be help, by which we mean also half-inch a key.
Yes.
Yeah. Go on then.
Stealth.
That's a good question. I think it might be. I want to say cunning. Is it cunning? Deception. Sorry.
Deception.
Oh, if it's deception, I might do it.
Yeah. Deception is a fellowship-based skill.
Let me just check, because sometimes I get confused on which one's the best one for thieving.
I can do it if it's deception.
I am not good at that.
Let me just
I'm
check.
all about the fellowship.
That would help. So cunning is to hear the best deals and illicit goods. Okay, that's good. Deception is to lie and be manipulative. There must be something that's... Stealth is obviously not being detected.
Which is, it's okay in this case.
We'll say stealth then.
Seems like it might be, yeah.
Because it's based off agility generally. So yeah.
What do I spend to add dice to my roll?
You can spend a point of glory to add a die to the pool. And I can't remember what Wrath does off the top of my head.
Wrath lets me re-roll.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm 4 with an exalted on the Wrath die.
Wow. 4 with an exalted on the Wrath die. Yeah, that is more than enough. As you're helping pick up the trinkets and curios and, reclaimed power cells and various oddments and items, you snap the key off the bandolier and pocket it, and then saunter away.
Oh, I'm so terribly, terribly sorry. I've made
it's okay. It's you're so you wish for this eyeball then?
Yes, of course. Yes.
And you pull out some credits and you make a deal and barter for it. And you now possess a nice resin encased eyeball. Something to pocket and keep on the mantelpiece.
I'll toss it into the nearest garbage receptacle I can once I'm out of sight.
Is there anything else I can do you, dear? I know many things about this city. Or maybe I could sell you something else. Maybe you wish to stay somewhere. I know various fine watering holes where you can pay for lodgings. Or maybe, as I said, your friend of yours needs a replacement arm or a replacement leg or piece of cybernetic augmentation.
That's well. No. I think we should be good. I might take some information on those watering holes you mentioned.
Oh yes. The finest one near here is the Jolly Undertaker. There's also the Drinking Skull. Drinking Skull. That's a fine place, fine dining. And then
nowhere named after flowers or anything non-grave.
Flowers don't grow here, my dear. Flowers don't grow here. Oh, the one type of flower does. The Daedalon white weeper. It's or weeping woman, as we call it. Grows on certain graves out far from the city. They're typically plucked and laid at the tombs of many of the nobility who are interred here. That is the only flower I know that grows in these parts. Other watering holes. Yes. Oh, of course. The other one. The other one is the drunken corpse. Yes.
A drunken corpse, of course. Yes. Perfect. Yes, that'll do. That'll do. Perfectly lovely. Thank you. Thank you very much for all your assistance.
May the Emperor bless you. May the Emperor bless you.
Yes, Emperor, bless your wares
of course, and of course, the thing you realise as you're walking around, the other thing is from loud hailers and voxes placed on outside buildings, and especially in the square, there is the constant background noise of prayers to the Emperor. You have to almost tune it out in order to talk to other people as you're doing what you're doing. Right. Is anyone else up to anything? Up to anything within the market?
As they're doing that, I'm actually going to wander around to see if anyone is possibly not. I mean, they wouldn't outright be selling servo skulls, but seeing. Yeah, because that's specifically for the library.
Look for someone with a servo skull in the back of their van.
Well, if anybody might have or might be talking about selling something similar or something, I don't know.
Don't you have a little goat man whose job it is to get in touch with the underworld and get his
which is what I'm gonna do after we do the psyker scene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I guess whoever wants to set off to the you can set off to the apartment.
Yeah, once I have the key, I just.
Okay, yeah, then I will let Rufio do his job.
And you set off to the Hab block, trudging through the streets, passing what are known as Gilead Gravediggers. They are the regiment of the Astra Militarum, which is raised on this world. And so their garb, while they look like members of the military, of course they have numerous skull and bone based iconography, and you actually realize that even their las guns that they're carrying, the hilt the hilt of it, or the is inlaid with bone. So
I like their style.
Their style is cool, yeah. And yes, you head off to the apartments. So again, the rain doesn't stop. It stops momentarily and then starts again, that kind of thing. Again, you're sprayed with water as large hauliers, large vehicles rumble past carrying corpse starch to the nearby landing pad, or they're carrying bodies or so forth to be interred somewhere. And the Hab block is crumbling. It's made of plastisteel and ceramite. It's typical prefabricated. It's not as dingy as you're expecting, I guess, because the people that live here are mainly administrators. So there is some sign of enforcers patrol this area, but not huge numbers of them, but at least enough to go to say they're trying to maintain the peace for higher ups that live in this area. you head up the steps and then up the steps to the level where the apartment is, and outside it, near the stairwell where the archivist was accosted, where she was knocked out and the theft occurred. No one else is really about. There's some kids at the other end of that level, down the corridor. They're playing a game. I think they're mostly rolling dice made of bones, playing some strange game, and no one else is really about, which means you can perform your psychometry.
Okay. I will request that I need to not be disturbed for some time. It could take hours. So who went to the hab? Is it just Rufio who stayed to do the investigation, the sleuthing?
I'm also there.
Okay. Thought we were all together.
Yeah, let's keep the team.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yes, I'll require some time.
Yeah. Anyone got some cards? Anyone?
Those children are playing.
Yeah, I gesture towards the kids.
Well, no, I thought one of us had cards.
Doesn't Rufio have cards?
No, I thought someone had a deck of cards with the enemies of the Imperium on it.
Oh no, that's ID Fortran has those cards.
Oh jeez.
They did not make it through corpse transfer. So
okay.
I believe Rufio has a little tin with Obscura in it, right?
No, I've got a tin with Is it Obscura?
It is
Obscura. You've got Obscura on you. I believe you and the Psyker are going to be smoking buddies.
It's a mutant thing you wouldn't understand.
Wouldn't want to understand.
Anyway, so how does Lady Annette go about? How does she prepare herself to do this psychometry?
I will attempt to, using whatever rags I've left over from my initial attire. I'll attempt to make a little clear the ground around me as best I can, and sit cross-legged, and sort of begin to try and grasp around me for emotional outbursts in the area and things like that. And I'll probably murmur the little story of every time I do this, it reminds me of back in the academy. They would lock us in rooms for hours, with nothing but an item, and we couldn't come out until we told the entire story of this one item, a broken knife or a discharged las cell. Fun times. Anyway, shall we? Yes, the longer I'm uninterrupted, the better.
Yeah.
Shall I make the roll now then?
Yeah, by all means do so. So the difficulty number is 4, and you're obviously rolling your psychic mastery with the wrath die. And you've mostly got some other things that influence, like powers of the warp, don't you? That so you can do other fun things. But yeah, by all means roll.
Okay, here we go. No whammy. Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 successes, 2 exalted.
Wow. Okay, so you got 4 successes in total.
So I got 4 successes plus 2 exalted.
So
8 successes in total.
Yeah, there we go. That's what we're talking about.
So I'll use 2 on the potency.
Yeah.
To make it take half the listed time, just because we don't know how long we're going to be able to sit in a corridor in a hab block until somebody comes home.
Yeah. So you use out of your 8, you put 2 into the half the listed time, so it means that this only takes half an hour to occur.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing you can do is you can put 1 into the potency, and it means you can share the vision with any ally in range of the psychic power. So it means everyone else can see it. So it becomes a true auto seance, just as we love from the Eisenhorn trilogy.
Okay.
Excellent. So you are sat there, as you say, reciting incantations, the things you've been taught when you were soulbound to the God Emperor of mankind. And all of you, after maybe about 10, 15 minutes of this going on, you notice the air gets cold you see your breath, and then you also realize that you begin to see the walls are dripping with ectoplasm or some other kind of strange blue luminous kind of liquid. And forming from it, you then see these misty apparitions. You recognize the archivist, you recognize servo skulls. These apparitions are not that you can make out every detail, but you clearly get the sense of who these people are. And then you witness the person she was talking to that matches the description she gave. But you now have obviously a more fuller, recognizable picture of this person, as in if you were to see them, you would recognize them on sight. Even despite how hazy the image is, you watch as the archivist is hit over the back of the head and falls prone, spilling papers and scrolls before her, and this mugger then uses a sack and captures, as if they were butterflies, the servo skulls, and then runs off. And as he runs away, leaving the range of the area where this power is being invoked, disappears into just pure mist.
Okay.
And then the power, this ritual ends, and the ectoplasm that you're able to witness evaporates, and everything, while it's still dank, is not as cold as it was.
Okay.
So that's everyone's first witnessing of a true psychic power and an auto seance taking place. Well, other than the rogue psychers that you killed, but they're not they weren't doing friendly psychic powers.
Friendly psychic. I'll
Sister
wipe
Mariana
the sweat
is,
off and then light up a bit of obscura and be like, was that good for everyone? Or
Lady Annette, that was
Yes.
very illuminating, but if you ever again touch my mind with your filth, I will personally rip your brain out through your nose.
Noted.
Are we clear?
Crystal, darling.
Excellent. What do you want to all do now? What's everyone else's reactions?
I've dealt with psychers before. It's fine. It's fine, everyone. It's okay. But I don't feel like we gained too much information from this, did we? Just a better picture of who this individual is, and I guess the direction they ran off in.
Yeah.
It's not gonna do too much. Were they going towards the market or away from the market?
You wouldn't be able to tell because it's a 10-meter radius the power takes up. So
okay,
yeah,
so we just saw them. They were
leave
just
the
hustling
havoc.
down the stairs. Yeah.
Well,
Dang. Okay.
now that I've gotten a good track them down.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier to converse with people in the market and elsewhere, like at the bars and the taverns, and hopefully find this person.
Yeah, I think you know what? Yeah, I think it's a good idea. We should go to one of the bars and we'll just kind of discreetly ask around for anyone trying to anyone collecting servo skulls, trying to sell them, trying to buy them. It's a pretty slim market, but so I think once we get a good lead, it'll take us right to them. What does everyone else think?
I think that's a good idea.
All right, cool. All right, so which bar do we want to go to? The drunken corpse, the sipping skull,
the drinking skull, obviously.
The drinking skull. Okay, yeah. All right, we're going there.
Okay, or you've got the Jolly Undertaker as well.
We're
I don't think the Jolly
crew.
The Jolly Undertaker, I don't think is going to have the servo skull sellers in it or buyers.
So you're going to go to the drinking skull.
Yeah.
Right. So the drinking skull is a outside of the establishment. It has on the outside of the wall is a goblet, which is a skull, but it also has a skeletal-like figure drinking from the goblet, the skull goblet, hence the drinking skull. And you go in, and there is noisy music being played on reclaimed. Yeah, it's mostly reclaimed skulls that they're using as some sort of rudimentary kind of like drums. People are sat round eating. Some people are eating from steaming bowls of what you can only imagine is corpse starch mixed with local protein that's been made using mushrooms and other funguses that are grown. And of course, what drink is there? The alcohol is again some frothy fungal based alcohol, pungent, thick, gloopy, stinking, but it obviously numbs the workers to their toil to the God Emperor. You shuffle in, and I guess you're going to try and blend in and chat and ask people stuff.
Yeah.
Blend in.
Hopefully they're drunk enough to not notice that I'm a giant goat man. No, it's fine. I'll keep my hood down with my fungal beer, fungal brew, and just kind of Rufio will just kind of make the rounds. Schmooze with some people, maybe some people that seem like they might be buying, selling, whatever, and just kind of go up and be like, "Hey, how we doing? Not from the area, from out of town, but looking to make some purchases. On the down low. What are people selling these days? You got any good leads?"
What do you mean? What are you looking for? I mean, loads of stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean,
around. You've been to the markets. Everyone's selling everything. They've reclaimed auto guns, reclaimed blast guns, reclaimed servo skulls, the works.
Yeah. Reclaimed servo skulls. Yeah.
That's a difficult business to get into. Servo skulls.
Yeah.
They're generally used by the administratum to like and by the sisters and by various nobility, to do some cogitating. I don't know much about cogitating, but the Adeptus Mechanicus, they take the skulls, they refit the brains with some machinery, and it does some cogitating. They use it for accounts, for books.
Yeah.
I don't really use them. I'm not much of a doing the math with the counting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who does use them? I mean, who's refurbishing them around these parts?
There's plenty of people refurbishing them. There's Thessala. She's in the business. She does third party refurbishments.
Okay. Yeah. Thessala.
There's what's his name? There's Kalalia, who's on the market. She does some backyard kind of stuff, so she might be in the business of it. I'm not too sure. She's good with cyberware.
Yeah, hey, I could have sworn I saw someone selling some of these things, or making some purchases, something like that. I think he only had one eye though. One had a patch over it. Yeah, you ever heard of anyone like that? Seen anyone like that? Seems like they had some good deals. I'm just like looking to make a couple creds on the side. You know what I mean?
So, Mike, I'm going to need you to make a cunning test to see how well you're doing with this. Or maybe hold on, cunning.
Do I get an underhive bonus for this from my hive? No, I guess Hive Explorer doesn't count.
No, you're scum. So I'll give you a bonus for being proper scum.
I am scum.
You're true scum. Everyone else can make like awareness tests as they're just sat around. I don't know if anyone's trying the local drink or the local food.
When in Rome.
I feel like the food is probably pretty close to what I.
Yeah, it is actually. It's
I would
pretty.
say Danica probably would, if only just to make sure she's eating something.
Yeah, Danica's eaten worse. Okay, cool. So yeah,
cunning.
Right. So you as you're sat around, you've ordered a bowl of steaming corpse gruel with mushrooms in it, and you're happily eating it. And Danica sat with you eating it as well. Like, oh, you're actually like this. It's
the
not
first
bad
time
food.
any of them have seen me eat. Probably.
And you notice a few strange things about some of the patrons. One has hands that are reversed, and you're certain for a moment out of the corner of your eye you can see what looks like an eye on like a tentacle slip out from within someone's robes, look around, and then slip back in. That person is sat at a table playing a game of cards. Make of what that little tentacle eye is doing right now. Yeah. And yeah, Rufio, the guy's like, yeah, there's one other guy. His name, he said, looks like Diomedes. Yeah, he's got this. He fixes up lots of stuff. He's got this automobile that runs on promethium gasoline, and it's festooned with skulls. You cannot miss it. It's a bit of a classic, if you know what I mean.
Gotcha. He's the guy with one eye.
Yeah, you won't find him here. You'll find him. He normally goes drinking in the Jolly Undertaker, because that's where he does his deals. And he don't really like the mushrooms that we serve here.
Yeah, does he think he's too good for him? Think he's too good for these shrooms?
Yeah. He's up his own ass, if you ask me about it.
Yeah, I hear
I gotta
you.
run him before. He's don't trust him when you're playing the cards. He's a crafty old. He's a crafty demon. Him. Don't trust him.
Yeah, I got you. Hey, thanks for the information. Let me buy you another drink, all right? And enjoy your night.
Cheers, mate. Oh, and he gets a big tankard of the mushroom frothing beer, and begins to greedily gulp it down.
All right, cool. Who am I gonna talk to? Where is the talk? So okay. I guess I'll talk to our dear leader Danny here. Hey Danny, how's it going? Hey, you enjoying Danny? You enjoying this these brews here? Doesn't seem like you really touched that.
I mean, I've had worse food. She'll just like hesitantly drink of the beer. And
it's not so bad.
Once you get past the gag reflex, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Once you, it's a little tangy, a little tangy, but it's okay. It's okay.
Maybe after a certain amount of alcohol, it'll stop being gross.
Listen, well, wait, I'm here with the ladies, right? I'm at the ladies' table. It seems like. So, all right, ladies, listen, I got some information. Seems like Weir's over there watching some stuff. I don't know.
No, I'm sitting at that same table.
He doesn't talk. It's fine. Whatever.
He's not really a person.
He's not really a person. It's
just a goddamn killing machine. Anyway, ladies. Hey, listen. So I got some information. Diomedes seems like it's our guy. Usually over at the Happy Undertaker. He thinks he's too good for this place. Got souped up. He's got some souped up wheels and that kind of stuff. And seems like he deals in some things, I should say. So that might be where we want to go next. Once we finish our drinks.
Oh, we're gonna finish these.
I'm just saying, I'm gonna finish mine. Danny, it's fine if you don't want to.
No.
I don't think anyone's going to think any less of you if you don't drink that.
I'm going to pick up my glass and I'm going to drink. I'm going to down the entire thing while looking at Rufio.
Chug.
Tug it down while looking at it. Slam it on the ground, on the table.
Saw a bug fall into that earlier. I wasn't sure if I was going to let you know, but yeah, there was definitely some insect in there.
That's great.
It's just extra protein. Great. Okay. So do we have anything else we need to do here, or should we take this party over to the what was it? The happy Undertaker. Jolly Undertaker.
Just push the mostly eaten bowl of corpse starch, mushroom fungi away from me and get up and start walking out the door.
All right. Yep, I'm gonna follow.
This is turning
Really,
into
once
a
you
bar
actually
crawl.
drunk the beer, it repeats on you.
Oh, great.
A real fungal taste that just never leaves your mouth.
Oh.
Rufio grabs the Rufio's really hungry, so he grabs the remaining bowl that Weir was eating and just carries it out with him.
I really hope that the Jolly Undertaker has something.
By bowl, it is just a reformed cheap plastic like tub. That's like you could put a lid on. That's all it is.
Makes sense. Gotta reuse.
Surprised it's not a skull.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You traipse over to the Jolly Undertaker, which made the previous bar look, upmarket. It's dilapidated. It's cobbled together from reclaimed tomb masonry. There are gargoyles outside it that they've used that are just to hold it together. And the interior of it is dark and undecorated and lit by greasy candles and illuminated and has like rubble as furniture. So much of the table are like ruined Doric columns, like chipped and chiseled into the right shape. You might be sitting on part of someone's tomb or a headstone or something like that. And again, they're not serving any food, but what they are serving again is some filthy moonshine, which smells has a high ethanol content, so it smells almost like petrol in some respects. You might as well be drinking diesel.
Oh, Mr. Rufio, you only take us to the finest establishments.
Yeah, even Rufio is like, I don't know about this place. Do we see Diomedes? Does Weir? Yeah, what's Weir doing? Weir's in there. Weir's already scouting.
What's Weir's passive awareness? 2. Yeah, okay. You're gonna need to make awareness tests.
I figured. I usually do.
Is there a skull-covered automobile outside?
No, there isn't.
Well, that is officially my worst roll ever. I have a 1 on the wrath die.
Oh no. Is that it?
Oh, that's it.
Can you use a point of wrath to re-roll all those failed dice?
That would be all of them.
Just a suggestion. Just a suggestion.
Hey. 3 with an exalted icon.
Are you allowed to re-roll ones on wrath dice? I don't think you're allowed.
Yeah, am I allowed to? I did. That was it. I did, but it wasn't a success. Or it wasn't an icon. Either way.
Right. It's still a 1 on the wrath die. Yeah, you point out. You noticed where Diomedes is sat at the back of the bar, and perhaps you're not really being quite casual about it.
Fear's not being stealthy.
Or you're just you clearly stick out as you do that.
Fair.
Or no, I think more funny. Actually, we'll go with more fun. You realize actually that the stapled on face is beginning to peel off at one place, revealing the true scars underneath. One of the bouncers of the bar looks at you. Something's wrong with you, mate. Are you sure you're going to be in these parts? Everyone else in the bar is now looking in your direction at Weir. Who is not allowed to speak because of his oath of silence. What's wrong with you, boy? Cat got the tongue?
Cool. I'm gonna intimidate him.
Okay.
That.
Are you gonna manage that?
That die. 5.
How do you intimidate him? How exactly are you doing this?
I'm just gonna look him dead in the eyes and slowly tilt my head to the side. Visual intimidation.
Stare down.
Just stare him down.
As your face slowly peels away.
Yeah.
Not even touch it. It's just like, and you can see like all the scar tissue and the raw open wounds.
Indeed.
The bouncer takes a step back. Actually, I'll just see if he does. What's his dice pool for this? Default 5. No, he definitely takes a step back. Though, yeah, if you're only here for a drink, the bar's just there, and just watches as you walk past. He has no interest in dealing with your weirdness.
Once I have turned my back to him, I do have a hood. I pull it up a little bit more. Try to fix the...
Yeah,
skin.
you basically have to press the staple back into your skull.
All right.
No, it's disgusting.
What's going on?
That's my wife. She's like, this is so disgusting. Stop. All right.
Anyway.
Moving on.
Diomedes is in the corner. Sorry, what are you doing? Yeah, sorry, Elaine, what was that you wanted to do?
I was just going to say, if your face is falling off, I might need to make a hemophobia test.
Oh, like definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, that's...
To the faceless ones.
Oh, you get to add double your rank bonus, don't forget.
Yeah, I got 1 success and a 1 on the wrath die, so I'm probably going to be having a moment.
Yeah, you immediately have to turn tail out through the door of the bar, and you're retching in the alley. You've just emptied everything you've eaten all day, if you have eaten anything. Not really. So you feel rough. You are feeling awful. Meanwhile, everyone else in the bar, you know where Diomedes is. You can.
Is he sitting with anyone?
Diomedes is sat there chatting to people, clearly doing some deals over a couple of drinks. That is pretty much it. Other conversations going on are people cursing the Great Rift, that they've lost their jobs, advising, and this is something you've realized where you are, that no one looks up at the sky, because you've learned that one of the decrees that's different to Caribbean, because of the thick blanket of cloud on that ocean world, doesn't require it. But on Gilead and many other worlds, you are not. It is decreed that you can't look up into the sky, especially at night, because then you would witness the Great Rift, and that it would corrupt your soul. Yes. Is there any other information that you will overhear? No, there's nothing else other than Diomedes is sat there, obviously, doing business. As I said, he's got these mismatched teeth that he surely has as dentures that he's made from people's reclaimed teeth, and they're higgledy-piggledy in his wide mouth as he's being quite loud and brazen about his dealings, laughing boisterously as he swigs this thick black alcohol.
Yeah.
Sister Mariana is going to go sit next to him at the table.
Shit. Right, okay. Sister Mariana, then you sit down. You've got your hood up because you don't want to give away that your hair is cut. Do you have your hair cut in the typical adept Sister of Battle style, or do you have it completely shaved off?
No, she has hair.
Right. Okay. So you most probably have to hide that your hairstyle is very much in keeping with the Adeptus Aureatus. You sit down next at the table, and Diomedes looks up in your direction. He itches underneath his eye patch and looks you in the eye.
How can I help you, dear? You here to buy some goods, or are you here to barter or trade with me? You've come at the right time. There's a lot of business going on in these parts.
I would caution you that if you keep picking at it, you're going to get a scar.
Well, a scar's a scar, but
I wear it with pride. And he basically, after he speaks, he kind of spits at the ground. He's that kind of gross.
Indeed.
My
friends and I are in the market for something that we've heard that you might have recently come into possession of. Some servo skulls. Are you familiar with the
servo skulls? You've come to the right place and the right man. I am a connoisseur of servo skulls, large and small, with various degrees of cogitative banks built into them and appendages. I mean, for a good price, I could get you a targeting servitor. I could get you a tech servitor. I could get you even a simple lumens servitor that uses actual electrical galvanic light, not just candles. Electrical light.
I'm more looking for some librarium servo skulls. Would you know where I might be able to find some of those? I was told that you might be the man to talk to about this.
Librarium servo skulls. So administratum servo skulls. I may have them in my possession, but they don't come cheap.
Oh, I think that we'll be able to hammer out a decent price between the two of us. If you give them to me, then I'll let you keep what's left of your teeth. And if you don't, then I'll make you eat every tooth in your head. And with that, she'll pull her cowl back and expose herself as a sister. Now, I was able to very easily track you down in approximately 45 minutes. How long do you think it'll take the rest of my sisters to do so?
You're going to make an intimidation test.
Oh, you bet your butt I am.
I have also taken up a position behind him at this point.
I am
Mr. Stealthy.
Yes. Yes, I will have come up behind Diomedes.
So that is 2 regular successes and then a 6 on the wrath die. For a total of 4.
He sits back wide-eyed, and as he does so, I think he mostly also notices that you've got pointed at him your bolt gun under your cloak. Is it a bolt gun or a bolt pistol you've got?
It's a pistol.
It's a bolt pistol.
It's a pistol.
Pointed at him.
Whoa. I'm sure we can make a deal here. So the servo skulls, yeah, I can get them back in your possession. It wouldn't be too difficult to do that. And I'd certainly be in the market for being in the service of the Holy God Emperor in any way you see fit, sister.
Yes, I thought that might be the case. So, shall we go retrieve my property?
Yeah, we can look into getting your property back. You might want to follow me just this way.
Of course, lead on.
And he gets up and he starts heading out of the bar with you in tow.
Yep.
If everyone can make an awareness test.
Yep.
Wait, what? Why? We're just going to go get the property, right? Nothing bad's going to happen.
It's never that easy.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If every die I roll is an icon, does anything special happen, or is it just 8?
Oh, it'll be good.
Okay.
I have 4. I have 2 successes and an exalted icon.
Okay. Diomedes is not that subtle. As he's walking out, he nods in the direction of the barman, and who presses some button underneath the bar, and you know you already know 100% that Diomedes is clearly leading you into an ambush as he exits the building. What do you want to do as you head out of the door? You literally know, walking out the door, there's going to be more than likely people ready to jump on you.
Can I get on the roof?
Not easily from where you are right now. You could try and sneak out the back door.
Yeah, is there a back way?
Yeah. When I notice that, I will grab at least 1 or 2 and go up.
Cool. Just stealth to see if so the barman doesn't notice what you're doing.
Yep.
That you're not part of Sister Mariana's little entourage.
Where would I be in this situation if I was vomiting out front of the bar?
Oh, you're out front. What? No one's noticed you. So you're watching a group of bone pickers and laborers come from the back of the building, brandishing all manner of rusty pipes and makeshift clubs, saying yeah, there's some Adeptus Ariatis that Diomedes, I just heard is being chained to. We're meant to take her out. And they're not very subtle with what they're doing. You literally hear that as they walk past you, as you're puking your guts up, or as you're recovering, wiping your mouth of the filth. And you guys sneak out the back quite happily.
Okay. Going
past really rank kitchens with boiling pots of alcohol where it's being, filtered and concentrated into this gloopy black mess.
Take out my bolt pistol.
Okay. As Sister Mariana is about to exit the front door of the bar, then I just need actually then Danica and Weir, as you're sneaking around out through the back door, round the back of the building, because obviously anyone that would have been there as part of that work at the bar as security are now going to jump on Sister Mariana as Diomedes has it there. You walk round the back alleyway, passing a certain astropath who's been vomiting, who is also aware something is up. You've got your bolt pistol ready. You've got a power sword or 2 ready.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now that I'm outside, would it be possible to get on the roof of the building?
You could make an athletics roll to kind of jump up over some rubble. What's Rufio doing? Are you going out following Sister Mariana?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't roll high on the awareness check, so I'm probably just kind of a little distance back, minding my own business. Hand on the chainsword.
So as this happens, yeah, you're up there. Don't worry about it.
And, I'm gonna put a point into them.
Yeah. Diomedes is stood outside, and Sister Mariana, you're walking out with your bolt pistol under your cloak pointed at him, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and Rufio, you're following, and as you exit, you notice that there is about a half dozen, various bone pickers, scum, who are ready with clubs and reclaimed, shoddily repaired auto pistols pointed at you. Well, now it seems I've got the drop on you, Sister Mary. Sister, and your friend. So how about we renegotiate that deal?
Hold on a second. So Sister Mariana is being tailed by a 7-foot-tall cloaked individual who will now pull down his hood. Actually, maybe just open up the cloak, brandish a chainsword, and go, "I am the Emperor's beast."
Okay.
How dare you trifle with the Adeptus Sororitas?
I think you can make a intimidation roll.
Oh, yeah.
To do basically what is an effect and an interaction attack to have them just stand cowering in fear.
Yep.
Because you are pretty horrific.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa! All right, that is 6 total icons, including a 6 on the wrath die.
Very nice.
6 on the wrath dice. That's a point of glory. No, you need a shift for glory.
You also get to add double rank bonus to dice for intimidation tests.
Oh, well, hold on a second there then.
Because that's part of my ability.
I didn't know that either.
Good to know.
You're not really there for him to gain that ability because you're being stealthy. You watch one or two of the they're pointing auto pistols and they start shaking, and they're like, "What the hell has Diomedes got us into this time, guys? Look at him. He's a goddamn mutant. He's a goddamn beastman. What the hell? God, what the Emperor's teeth by the throne. What do we?" At which point,
language.
Danica, Weir, and Annette, you have full opportunity to just do full surprise attacks and do whatever you need.
The bonus for a surprise attack?
That's a good point. Is it not like +2 on the extra damage and the attack? Let's see. That's rules. We don't want rules. We want combat. Let me see. Attacking quick reference guide. Attacks.
Page 182.
Yeah.
You gain 2 bonus die to the attack test and +2 ED.
To the damage.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So, as always, Weir drops from the shadows, brandishing power swords that are flared into life, and is clearly going to turn 2 people into red mist.
4.
So 4 successes to hit. You hit because their defense counts for nothing. You've got 4. You've got 4 on the hit. You can shift. Exalted icons into damage on that.
Okay.
And your damage, remember, is your strength plus the damage on the weapon plus X damage +2 plus whatever else you've got. Jesus Christ.
A lot.
These guys, they should have run away.
For my second attack, I had 8. I rolled.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, you've hit. Okay.
And then my damage is.
I don't think we really need to roll for damage here. You literally just drop. It's academic at this point. These power swords just cleave through them, slice them in half. They slide apart, and I think even with that attack, like some of these scum would just bolt at the first sign of it happening. They drop whatever they're holding and run. They leg it. Danica, obviously you have no compassion for what's going on whatsoever. You've got a bolt pistol and a chainsword ready. What do you do?
I'm actually going to walk up to Diomedes, put my bolt pistol to his temple, and say, what about this about renegotiating? Because I'm not going to
intimidate some more.
Huh?
Do you wish to roll an intimidation roll some more?
Yes.
Of course, with your massive rank bonus. While that's going on, what does Annette want to do? Does she just simply sit and watch this madness, or
the opposite? I will go. No, thank you, and turn around and just like starts trying to strike up a bit of like a low stick or something, and just be like, tell me when it's over, and I'll just like go around the corner around this building, just as if I'm not involved in this thing whatsoever.
Okay. So I have 4 icons, 2 exalted icons, and one of my exalted icons is on the wrath die.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much all the other people run, leaving behind weapons or whatever, or and back away. Diomedes just looks at you out of the corner of his eye. Yeah, let's renegotiate that deal then. It's yeah, I think we can come to an arrangement. So servo skulls is what you're looking for. How about I take you to my workshop and we can find what you're looking for and return it to the rightful owners.
Perfect.
That does sound like the optimal solution, yes.
So you are led off through the back alleys of the city to where Diomedes keeps a filthy lean-to composed of bone and scrap, corrugated iron, everything else that's dank and rusting, and he unlocks it and leads you in. But before he does so, he unhooks something, and as you walk in, you realize he's basically unpicked the setup for a shotgun that he's got set up as a trap on the front door. Security, you understand. He leads you in, and there's clearly a number of workbenches with various pieces of equipment on there, broken servo skulls, other pieces of reclaimed cybernetics, and adjoining to the shanty, there's a collapsed sepulchral spire. So it's attached. The lean-to is next to kind of an old mausoleum from many centuries ago, and through the doorway of it, you can just make out through the crack of the doorway, you can see his Promethean fueled automobile that has large wheels to make it through the fields, and also it's adorned with skulls. So the servo skulls, was it some particular servo skulls, administratum servo skulls you were looking for? He begins to pick over and look at the picking up things on the workbench and tools.
Yes, it would be the 2 that you took from my fellow sister.
Oh, the Kalidas skulls. There's 2 of them. Right. And he lifts up some tarpaulin. Oh, it's these 2 here. He points them. They're somewhat disassembled. I was trying to do some modifications to them, but I'm sure if they're returned, their cogitator banks are fully operational. They just don't the grav. I've removed the grav plates. I was installing them on another servo skull, but we can give you that servo skull as well. Was that all you wanted?
Can I make an insight check on him for that?
Sure, of course.
And can I make a awareness check on everything else he has?
Sure, of course.
I have 2 icons and an exalted icon on the wrath die.
Yeah, you can tell he's not lying because you outnumber him and have dangerous weapons. Yeah, there's not much else. You basically where you're just looking over. You slink off and actually just start looking at his car. It's it's not very nice. It's liable that it might break down at any moment. Somehow Diomedes, pilots it, drives it, and there's at the back. It's got a large drum which contains its fuel that acts as its fuel tank. But yeah, that's what you make of that. So if that's everything you want, you can have them back, and we'll leave it at that, and I'll just get on with my business. Unless there's something else that some other business you'd wish to me to help out on. Now, I'd like to think I could be compensated for helping you on any other further information or business.
Well, of course, we're letting you keep your teeth. What more compensation could you ask for?
Well, it's just,
Think very carefully before you answer that question.
I'd like to think that I'd at least be compensated with some credits for some business. I mean, I know the city like the back of my hand.
We could just ask him if he knows where the mausoleum crypt that we're looking for is, right? The necropolis. He might know.
Yeah, it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
If you know this place like the back of your hands, where's the is it Defridus family mausoleum?
Galfradus necropolis. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. I know where that is. It's out past many of the graveyard fields beyond the city. Big thing. You can't miss it. There's so many imperial nobles buried on this world, but yeah, I know it. It's I take an interest in it because it has some exquisite examples of servo skulls that maintain the necropolis. I could take you there.
You wouldn't be tomb robbing.
I would never do something like that. Got it.
Of course not. I didn't.
I find that as a true insult to me.
Just had to ask, just be on the up and up.
I would never rob from the grave of a well-to-do imperial noble.
Good answer.
Sure. Why don't you take us there?
Sure, we could if you give me a moment to get my my automobile going, we can get there quite quickly. I think it'd be about 30-40 minutes tops. I think if you were going by foot, it would take a long time, but I could drive you there right now.
Sure.
Yeah,
and I think we can leave it there until next time. So we are, we're well past the halfway.
We made a friend.
Made a friend.
Temporary friend.
Obviously, everyone can get themselves a hearty 12 XP because I think everyone's done really well on that session in character and doing lots of fun stuff, whether that's slicing people in half or intimidating people or investigating or doing some cool psychic powers, because that's what 40K is all about. With that, things to look out for in the near future. If you go over to Dark Days Radio on Facebook, there are some details there for the panel I am running for UK Games Expo, the virtual expo, which is a panel of writers of RPGs talking about how they got their first shot at writing stuff for games. So we have the likes of Steffi Devan, Lloyd Guyan, we've got Kat Evans, and we've got Elizabeth, and I can't remember how to pronounce her last name. I feel very bad, but she works with Steffi Devan on their own work, their own stuff outside of freelance work. Yeah. And then the other thing going on is obviously for Swansea Comics and Games Convention. There is the panel that I will be on with Matthew Dawkins and Howard Ingham talking about horror in RPGs. There are also there's also a raffle where you can win various RPG and gaming things, including miniatures I've painted, and that's all going to charity for I think it's the Swansea, I can't remember these, Swansea Zoo or Wildlife Conservation. The details are there. I can't remember all off the top of my head right now. And then we've got some other cool stuff coming up for Gen Con.
Yep, I'm doing 2 panels for Gen Con. I am on the researching history for RPGs panel as well, and Gehenna Gaming is going to be hosting that, so you can watch for links and stuff like that through Gehenna Gaming's channel. And I'm also going to be on a panel for horror on the tabletop, which talks about running horror games and different techniques and safety mechanics that you can use.
Cool. I can't think of anything else otherwise on Darker Days Radio end. I don't think there's anything else. Is there anything else, Mike, that I'm forgetting? Not right
No,
now.
but because Gehenna Gaming is running some of the stuff this Wednesday for the Rain charity events, I will be playing in one of those, be V5 with Marchosius. It should be pretty rad.
That was news to me. Awesome. But yeah, we will be Marchosius, Mark, our VP of Marketing and Creative, will be running a V5 game over on the Onyx Path channel at 5 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, and then I will be running a 10 Candles game at 9 p.m. on the channel. And we will be running the Tiltify link, which you can see the banner above my head. We'll be running all week, so you can donate whenever you feel like it during any of our streams, but specifically on Wednesday, that is the focus of those events.
Cool.
We also, like Crystal mentioned, we have the Gen Con panel on Thursday. Blanking on it. We also launched our Saturday night one-shots yesterday. So every other week we'll be running one-shots of different game systems with different game creators. That is a thing. We're releasing an interview with the creator of When Shadows Fall, which we played yesterday, on next Sunday. So keep an eye out for that.
Excellent. And Elaine, is there anything you want to plug from yourself with writing or streams or anything else?
Oh gosh, okay. So there's obviously all the Cubicle 7 stuff, Wrath of Glory, Soulbound, that stuff's ongoing. If you want to follow me and all the projects and stuff I work on, best place is just follow me at Elaine Lithgow on Twitter. I also work for DigiSprite, which is like a small company, and we make board games, and we make Adventure Mart that's just come out, and also we've got a Kickstarter coming up, Familiar Alchemy, which is all about brewing potions and Scottish folklore, and
awesome.
things like that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm always bouncing around doing way too many projects, so. Yeah, catching me on like Twitter or something is probably the best place for it.
Wonderful.
And I think the only thing I can say is that I do know that the other writing I do, there are only a few copies left of the most recent issues of Cyber magazine, and Cyber issue 6 is about a month or so away and is very interesting, and that is all I can say at this moment, but there is some cool stuff in it, so keep your eyes peeled for that. It is filled with cool futurism, cyberpunk, and real science that I write about. So yeah,
awesome.
That's everything then.
Awesome.
Fantastic. So thank you everyone who tuned in. Dropped a bunch of links in chat, including to Elaine's Twitter, so make sure you check all those out. And we will be back in 2 weeks with more Wrath and Glory.
Bye.
Find the right button.
Bye.
Bye.